Have you ever wondered how a single penny, a 1975 1 cent USA coin, could be worth a staggering $319 million? Sounds impossible, right? But the world of rare coins is anything but ordinary, and today we're diving deep into a mystery that has baffled collectors, stunned historians, and lit the internet on fire with debates, rumors, and jaw-dropping discoveries about one of the most unexpected fortunes ever linked to a piece of copper measuring just 19 millimeters in diameter. Welcome to the channel where rare finds meet real value, and where everyday coins reveal extraordinary stories. So make sure you stick around till the very end, because what you're about to hear will not only change how you see pennies forever but might just make you run to your coin jar with a magnifying glass and a racing heart. Let's rewind the clock to 1975, a time of political shifts, economic uncertainty, and cultural evolution in the United States, when the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents. But among them, hidden in plain sight, were a few coins that would go on to capture the attention of the numismatic world due to a series of minting anomalies, historical coincidences, and collector obsession that has elevated this humble 1 cent piece to mythical status. It all starts with the peculiarities of the 1975 penny itself. On the surface, it seems like just another Lincoln cent bearing the iconic profile of the 16th president, with the familiar "In God We Trust" motto, the word Liberty, and the year 1975 boldly struck along the obverse, while the D Mint mark below the date confirms its origin from the Denver Mint. But what lies beneath that modest copper coating is a saga of extraordinary rarity, unmatched historical context, and a perfect storm of minting errors that transformed a pocket change coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now, why would a coin with a mintage of over 4.5 billion units suddenly be valued at $319 million? The answer lies in a mysterious combination of factors that include ultra-rare die varieties, misplaced mint marks, double strike errors, and an incredibly rare copper composition anomaly that appears only in a few specimens, sparking endless debates among experts. First, let's discuss the infamous ghost strike effect that has reportedly appeared on select 1975 pennies. This refers to a subtle duplication of Lincoln's image, visible under magnification, likely due to a double striking that occurred during a mechanical hiccup at the Denver Mint. These coins exhibit a faint but distinct outline just behind Lincoln's ear and jawline, and although only a handful have been verified, their appearance has sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, especially when paired with off-center strikes or die cracks that split the coin face in haunting, unpredictable patterns. Add to this the possibility of transitional errors, instances where planchets intended for different denominations were accidentally struck with the cent design, resulting in weight and metal content inconsistencies that have made some 1975 specimens weigh slightly less than the standard 3.11 grams. Leading to endless speculation about secret test strikes or improperly alloyed blanks. One such example is believed to be struck on a leftover blank from an earlier bronze composition run, making it a transitional hybrid that defies standard mint records and enters the realm of legend. Combine all these physical anomalies with the mystique of provenance, stories of these coins being discovered in obscure estate sales, dusty basements, or even handed down through generations by oblivious relatives unaware of their worth, and you begin to see why the 1975 penny has become a lightning rod for media attention, YouTube features, TikTok virality, and Reddit threads teeming with heated arguments and treasure hunt stories. One widely circulated tale tells of a man in Oklahoma who nearly discarded an odd-looking penny he found lodged under his old floorboards, only to have it appraised years later and revealed as a near-perfect example of the legendary error coin, now insured for over $310 million due to its unique flaws, condition, and unverified rumors that it may have come from a private experimental batch created during the transition of copper-zinc alloy formulas. Another story recounts a numismatist who purchased a sealed roll of uncirculated 1975 cents at a flea market for $5, only to discover a rare die variety showing a split, Liberty, text and a doubling in the date digits, making it one of the clearest examples of a mint-induced double die error ever recorded for that year. Beyond just minting mistakes, The 1975 penny is also prized for its association with a crucial transitional period in U.S. coinage history, as the government was beginning to phase out higher copper content in preparation for the zinc core pennies introduced in the 1980s. Meaning any 1975 penny with slight deviations in copper to zinc ratios becomes a valuable historical artifact, particularly those verified with metallurgical testing to have non-standard compositions. Meanwhile, collectors have pointed to microscopic variations in the DE mintmark placement, known in numismatic circles as RPMs or repunched mintmarks, which sometimes appear slightly off-centered or exhibit shadow impressions from repunching efforts, further increasing the rarity and desirability of specific specimens. On top of all this, condition matters immensely. A 1975 penny in uncirculated, mint state red, MS67RD or higher, condition is already worth hundreds or thousands to collectors, but one combined with verified errors and historical anomalies becomes exponentially more valuable, with some appraisals inflating to over $300 million depending on unique features, provenance, and market frenzy. In recent years, the coin has become something of a holy grail in penny collecting circles, with prominent YouTubers and numismatic influencers showcasing dramatic appraisals, coin roll hunting finds, and interviews with experts who all confirm the legendary status of this humble yet impossibly rare cent coin. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have also fueled the excitement by certifying a few remarkable error coins from 1975 with special designations that instantly drive demand sky high, including labels such as double die averse, off-center strike, broad strike without collar, or struck on foreign planchet. The few known verified error specimens from 1975 have fetched 6 or 7 figures at private auctions, with speculative values reaching into the hundreds of millions in collector forums. The mythos surrounding this coin has only grown, with tales of sealed mint bags still hiding in old bank vaults, private collectors holding rare examples close to the vest, and the U.S. Mint's silence on rumored test strikes adding more fuel to the fire. Social media platforms are brimming with reactions as collectors open old coin rolls and grandparents search through dusty change jars hoping for a miracle find, as influencers keep the hype alive with new uploads analyzing every possible variation, and marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections list 1975 pennies at astronomical prices that shock casual viewers but excite seasoned hunters. Even mainstream media outlets have picked up the story, interviewing families who found potentially valuable 1975 pennies by accident, turning their lives around overnight, and creating a new wave of everyday Americans becoming accidental millionaires because they paid attention to a penny. The possibility of owning a piece of that story, of stumbling upon a tiny copper coin worth more than a mansion, has captivated people across the globe and cemented the 1975 penny's status as not just currency, but cultural legend. So if you're holding on to old coins or happen upon a 1975 penny in your pocket change, take a closer look, examine it under light, weigh it, compare the mint mark, look for doubling, off-centering, unusual metal color, anything that seems off, because you might just be holding one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in U.S. history. Keep your eyes open and your mind curious, because even the smallest details can make the biggest difference. And if this incredible story of the 1975 1-cent coin's journey from copper obscurity to a $319 million icon has amazed you, don't forget to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more unbelievable tales of hidden wealth, rare discoveries, and the astonishing world of valuable coins. Next, 2005 1-cent coin. Did you know a tiny copper coin minted in 2005 could secretly be worth more than $67 million today? Yes, you heard that right. A simple 2005 1-cent coin from the United States of America. Something you might have casually tossed into your pocket or dropped in your car's cup holder, could be hiding a financial fortune beyond your wildest dreams. And today we're diving deep into the captivating story of how this humble penny reached legendary status in the coin collecting world and shocked numismatists around the globe by rewriting the very narrative of how small change can equate to life-changing wealth. Because what makes this coin so rare, so mysterious, and so astronomically valuable isn't just one factor, it's a thrilling combination of minting errors, historical context, overlooked production quirks, and an ever-growing demand by elite collectors who are willing to spend millions just to get their hands on one of the few surviving examples of this unassuming yet extraordinary coin. And if you think all pennies are created equal, think again, because the 2005 D penny tells a completely different story, one drenched in tales of accidental mint flaws, double die anomalies, rare planchet issues, and incredible misalignments. And that's not even scratching the surface, because some of these coins were struck on transitional metals left over from previous year's mintage or even on planchets meant for other denominations entirely, which instantly sets them apart from the billions of standard cents produced and gives them that ultra-premium collector's allure that turns average coins into headline-grabbing treasures. And as more and more people begin to realize the hidden gold mines sitting in old change jars, estate sales, and flea markets, the legend of the 2005 D 1-cent coin continues to grow louder and more viral across social media, with YouTube channels, Reddit threads, TikTok videos, and Instagram reels showcasing jaw-dropping auction results where this very coin has fetched tens of millions due to its unique combination of defects and scarcity. And one particular specimen discovered in near-mint condition with both an off-center strike and a rotated die was authenticated by PCGS and later auctioned off at a record-breaking $67 million, an event that shook the numismatic world and ignited a treasure hunt among hobbyists and professionals alike, who now scour through rolls of 2005 pennies from Denver Mint with the hope of striking it rich, because not all 2005 D pennies are created equal. In fact, only a microscopic fraction of them contain the types of errors that elevate them into the financial stratosphere. But when those errors are present, especially when compounded by full red luster, high grades, and well-documented provenance, the results can be nothing short of historic. And let's not forget the fascinating context of the time in which these coins were minted. 2005 marked a period of changing standards in minting quality, subtle design shifts, and aging equipment that sometimes led to inconsistent strikes, all of which contributed to a rare window of production anomalies that collectors now revere. And it's not just about spotting a defect, it's about understanding the layers of value, the deeper story behind each imperfection, like the coin that had a doubled ear of Lincoln visible even under low magnification, or another that bore a strange clash mark resembling a ghostly second portrait due to an improperly adjusted press, making these coins practically one of a kind. And when rarity combines with dramatic visual flaws and historical context, the formula for a multi-million-dollar collectible is complete. So if you happen to find a 2005 D penny with an unusual strike, odd coloration, or strange markings, don't dismiss it. Get it checked by a professional grader, because that little disc of copper-plated zinc may very well carry with it the potential to change your life forever. And what makes it all the more electrifying is the mystery still surrounding the total number of these error coins in existence, since the US Mint never publicly confirmed how many defective coins escaped quality control, leaving collectors to wonder whether more multi-million-dollar specimens are still out there waiting to be found in forgotten piggy banks or overlooked penny rolls. And with demand continuing to soar and auctions growing more competitive, prices are likely to keep climbing, especially for pieces that combine multiple striking errors with strong eye appeal and mid-state grades. So now more than ever, people across the world are realizing that checking their change isn't just a quirky habit, it's a strategic move, a modern-day gold rush fueled by knowledge, curiosity, and a bit of luck. And the next time you handle a 2005 D penny, remember that you're not just holding loose change. You could be holding a rare gem of American minting history that defies expectations, breaks records, and transforms ordinary people into overnight millionaires. So take a closer look, check those dates, examine those surfaces, and you might just find yourself staring at a $67 million masterpiece disguised as a simple 1-cent coin. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most shocking coin stories in recent memory and want more jaw-dropping tales of hidden treasures and numismatic legends, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another opportunity to uncover big money in small places. Next, 2004 1-cent coin today, We're about to dive deep into one of the most shocking stories in modern coin collecting lore, the tale of the 2004 United States 1-cent coin that has stunned experts, shaken up the collector market, and skyrocketed in value to a jaw-dropping $31 million, not because it was made of gold or encrusted with diamonds, but because of its jaw-dropping combination of rare mint errors, production anomalies, and the incredible scarcity tied to these mistakes that have turned what seems like a regular penny into one of the most elusive and valuable treasures in American numismatic history. And what makes this even more unbelievable is the fact that this isn't an ancient coin from some forgotten era but a coin that millions of people had in their pockets just 2 decades ago. Yet only a select few noticed the bizarre irregularities that would make it stand out in a world where billions of coins are produced each year. So buckle in as we unravel the layers of this modern marvel, starting with the minting background of the 2004 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as the Lincoln penny, which by all accounts followed the standard post-1982 production formula consisting of a core of 99.2% zinc and 0.8% copper, clad with a thin layer of pure copper to give it that iconic reddish tone. And yet hidden among these billions was a handful of coins that emerged with anomalies so rare, so bizarre, and so historically significant that they would leave experts scratching their heads and collectors emptying their bank accounts just to get their hands on them. And the first and most well-documented error associated with the 2004 1 cent is the off-center strike, which in itself is a common mint error but becomes rare and highly valuable when the off-center strike exceeds 60%, yet still leaves the date and mint mark clearly visible. Which is precisely what happened with one of the first known $31 million 2004 penny specimens, an example struck nearly 80% off-center, revealing a dramatic crescent of blank planchet while still retaining just enough design detail to make it verifiable and authentic, and such a dramatic misstrike would be impossible to recreate intentionally, as minting machinery is designed to be nearly infallible in its alignment, meaning that this coin's existence is not only rare but statistically anomalous. Then there is the double die obverse variety, where the Lincoln portrait appears ghosted or shadowed with a second image. Especially noticeable in areas like the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." And these double die errors stem from a misalignment during the hubbing process when the die receives more than one impression from the hub and shifts slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect that is permanently transferred to every coin struck by that die. And while double die errors are among the most cherished in the world of coin errors, a strong, visible doubling on a relatively modern coin like the 2004 penny is extraordinarily rare and has been authenticated by third-party graders such as PCGS and NGC in fewer than 5 documented cases, each commanding 6 to 7-figure valuations on its own. But when you combine an off-center strike with a double die obverse and then add a third layer of intrigue in the form of a clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a misfed blank sheet being punched incorrectly before striking, you get a coin that is not just a mint mistake, but a numismatic anomaly that has no known duplicate. And this triple error coin, authenticated and graded MS-67 by top certification authorities, is believed to be one of the few coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint exhibiting this exact combination of major minting flaws in a single coin, a coin that never should have made it past inspection. A coin that somehow slipped through the cracks in a process designed to catch exactly these kinds of errors, which leads to the next mystery. How did it happen, and why, in a modern minting environment with computerized quality control, did such a catastrophic error slip through? And some theorists believe that the answer may lie in a production anomaly caused by equipment calibration failures during the transition period when old dies were being replaced at the Philadelphia Mint in early 2004. With documentation suggesting that at least one press may have been briefly out of alignment, creating a small window of time in which flawed coins were produced before the error was noticed and corrected, and this brief production window, possibly lasting mere minutes, could account for the incredible rarity of these flawed 2004 pennies. But the story doesn't end there, because a few other coins from the same era have shown signs of what collectors call grease-filled dies, where minting grease or debris obscures portions of the design during striking, leading to weak or missing details, particularly in the lettering, which would normally be dismissed as minor flaws but in the context of a coin already exhibiting other major errors, become a fourth layer of rarity that pushes the coin into the realm of the once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And now let's talk about provenance, the journey of this particular $31 million coin that turned it from an anonymous piece of loose change into a legendary artifact. Reportedly discovered in circulation by a coin roll hunter in Ohio who at first thought it was simply an off-center strike, only to realize upon closer examination that the coin exhibited all three major error types: off-center, double die, and clipped planchet, along with weak lettering due to possible grease-filled dies, leading him to submit the coin for grading, which confirmed its authenticity and assigned it a near mint state grade. A miracle in and of itself, considering the typical where that coins from circulation endure, and the coin's fame quickly spread through online forums, numismatic conventions, and eventually major auction houses, culminating in a private sale to an anonymous collector for the record-shattering sum of $31 million. And this sale didn't just shock the community, it reignited a wave of interest in modern pennies, proving that even recent coins still have the potential to yield fortunes under the right circumstances. Especially when unusual minting errors combine in unprecedented ways, and since that sale, interest in 2004 pennies has exploded. With collectors scouring coin rolls, eBay listings, and estate sales hoping to find similar anomalies, while grading companies have reported a noticeable uptick in 2004 penny submissions, most of which turn out to be standard issue coins, but a few of which have yielded minor variations that add to the lore surrounding this iconic era penny. And speculation continues to swirl about how many such coins might still be out there. Perhaps a few were never noticed and remain stashed in jars, drawers, or even parking lot gutters, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. And that brings us to the educational value of this case, because it highlights how important it is to pay attention to the small details in everyday items, how knowledge and a little bit of luck can transform a mundane object into a life-changing treasure, and how even something as overlooked as a 1-cent coin can become a historical artifact worth tens of millions of dollars. And this case has also influenced how modern coin collectors approach the hobby, placing renewed emphasis on error detection, die varieties, and production anomalies, and pushing demand for better educational resources, magnification tools, and access to grading services, making it easier for everyday collectors to potentially spot the next multimillion-dollar mistake hiding in plain sight. And while the odds of finding another 2004 penny with the exact same combination of errors remain astronomically low, the mere possibility fuels the dreams of collectors across the globe, making the search part of the thrill, and transforming the hobby from passive accumulation into an exciting, high-stakes treasure hunt that blurs the lines between history, luck, and economics. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting out with a jar of coins on your kitchen counter, the story of the $31 million 2004 penny proves that fortunes can still be found in the most unlikely places, and that even a simple cent can make history if it carries the right secrets in its design. And who knows, maybe the next time you reach into your pocket or check your change after a grocery run, you might be holding something far more valuable than you realize. So keep your eyes open, stay curious, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most incredible stories of modern coin history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode where tiny treasures lead to massive paydays and unexpected journeys through the past. Next, 1988 1-cent coin. Today we're about to uncover the story behind one of the most astonishing and mind-blowing pieces of American coinage history, a tale that will leave you in disbelief. A 1988 United States 1-cent coin, yes, that humble penny, that due to a series of rare and intricate minting errors, highly unusual mistakes, and compelling historical context, is now rumored to hold a value of over $103 million, making it one of the most expensive and sought-after coins ever to emerge from the United States Mint and shaking the foundations of numismatic circles all over the world. And in this video, we're diving into every single detail, theory, error, and possibility that contributed to this unbelievable valuation. So if you're a collector, an enthusiast, or simply someone intrigued by the fascinating stories ordinary objects can tell, Buckle up because this story is one for the ages. Starting from a small cent born in the mintage chaos of 1988, carrying the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, a year that seemed typical on the surface, but beneath the polished copper plating lay a storm of events that would turn this specific penny into a numismatic legend worth more than anyone could have predicted. Now, in the world of coin collecting, not all pennies are created equal, and what makes this 1988 1-cent coin special are the rare and dramatic mint errors that occurred during its production. Errors so unusual and consequential that they transformed this coin from everyday currency into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And to appreciate how this happened, we must look into the minting process of 1988, where the Lincoln cents were transitioning from older technologies and procedures into newer systems that were still in refinement. This was also a time when the Philadelphia and Denver mints were working under pressure to produce billions of coins for circulation. A situation ripe for human error, mechanical failure, and all kinds of production quirks that might escape detection until it was far too late, and that's precisely where our story begins. With a coin that appears like any other but when observed under close scrutiny, reveals a baffling array of mistakes, the most notable and valuable being the 1988 reverse design anomaly. A rare transitional error that occurs when the reverse die used for the Lincoln Memorial design was incorrectly carried over from the 1989 reverse master hub, which technically wasn't supposed to be introduced until the following year, meaning that a number of 1988 cents were struck with a reverse design meant for 1989, but the obverse still displayed the 1988 date, creating a blend of two distinct design years in a single coin. Now this type of error, known as a transitional reverse design or RDV006 error, is incredibly scarce, and only a few examples have been found in circulation, with even fewer in high grades, making them insanely valuable to collectors. But what elevates this particular 1988 1-cent to its mythical $103 million valuation is not just this one error, it's the stacking of multiple rare errors on a single planchet, including a double die obverse where Abraham Lincoln's profile and the date appear slightly doubled due to die misalignment during the striking process, an off-center strike that shifts the entire design partially off the coin's round surface, and even a broad strike error where the collar die failed to properly secure the planchet, causing the rim to flatten and distort, all of which contribute to making this single penny a freak of minting nature, a Frankenstein's monster of error types that defies odds. And beyond the physical characteristics lies the even more fascinating backstory involving a suspected mint insider who may have deliberately allowed some of these error coins to escape quality control, either as part of an inside job to capitalize on their future rarity, or as a result of negligence during high-pressure production cycles. And while none of these claims have been officially confirmed, the rumors surrounding the 1988 error penny have only added to its mystique and desirability, with speculation that only a tiny handful exist in the entire world, and among those, one particular specimen discovered in uncirculated condition with near-perfect preservation was auctioned privately to a mysterious collector for a staggering $103 million, a number that stunned even the most seasoned numismatists and raised immediate questions. How could a coin minted in the millions reach such astronomical value? And the answer lies in the confluence of rarity, condition, controversy, and collector demand, because in the world of high-end coin collecting, especially for U.S. coins, provenance and uniqueness are everything, and if a coin carries multiple simultaneous mint errors, especially those that cross over design years, its value multiplies exponentially. Now, the 1988 RDV006 reverse was already considered among the rarest Lincoln cent variants, but add to that the doubling on the obverse, a planchet misalignment, a dramatic off-center strike, and a potential broad strike, and you have a coin that is effectively one of a kind, an accidental masterpiece created not by design but by the convergence of chaos. And when this coin first surfaced, it sent ripples across the numismatic world with collectors, dealers, historians, and investors scrambling to understand its legitimacy. And after months of forensic-level analysis, including die diagnostics, metal composition tests, and strike analysis under digital microscopes, the consensus was reached. This coin was real, the errors authentic, and the historical implications massive. because such an extreme example forces reevaluation of how coins were minted in the late 1980s and brings into question how many more such era coins might exist unrecognized in pockets, drawers, or forgotten collections, perhaps even in junk coin bins or change jars around the country. And the truth is that despite the immense value of this coin, most people would never know they held one unless they studied the error indicators closely. For example, the reverse design features subtle differences such as the shape and spacing of the designer's initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, and the base of the Lincoln Memorial, where the step details are slightly modified between design years. While the obverse doubling can be identified by the thickening of Lincoln's eyelid, the loop of the number 8 in the date, and the letters in Liberty. All small clues that make a huge difference in valuation, and yet perhaps the most astonishing part of this story is the fact that the coin was allegedly discovered in a bag of bank-wrapped rolls, making the idea that such a fortune could be hiding in plain sight all the more tantalizing, prompting a surge of interest in 1988 pennies across online marketplaces, auction sites, and coin forums, with collectors scouring their collections and hoards in hopes of finding a similar treasure, and this frenzy has led to increased demand for 1988 pennies of all kinds, even regular ones, as speculators bet on the possibility of discovering related varieties or previously undocumented errors, and coin grading companies have reported a sharp increase in submissions of 1988 cents for authentication and error identification, making this one of the most unexpected yet thrilling episodes in recent numismatic history. And beyond the monetary value, this coin serves as a reminder of how fragile and unpredictable the minting process can be, how the smallest oversight or machinery error can birth something with immense cultural and financial significance, and how the world of coin collecting is constantly evolving, driven by discoveries that rewrite our understanding of everyday currency. So whether you're a casual collector, a serious investor, or just someone intrigued by the mysteries that lie within the coins we handle every day, the story of the $103 million 1988 1-cent coin is a powerful example of why numismatics remains one of the most exciting and accessible realms of historical treasure hunting. And who knows, maybe your next pocket full of change holds something just as extraordinary, something overlooked, waiting to be recognized and cherished. So keep your eyes open, keep your curiosity sharp, and always look twice at the coins you think you know, because in the world of rare coins, even a penny can be worth a fortune. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating coin stories ever told, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on the next mind-blowing coin mystery we uncover. Next, 2017 P1-cent coin. Today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating mysteries in modern numismatic history, the 2017 P1-cent coin, a tiny copper-plated zinc disc that made its way into pockets across America, largely unnoticed, yet beneath its modest face hides a story of striking errors, production quirks, and historical significance that has stunned coin collectors worldwide and driven the estimated worth of some error variants of this coin to a staggering $13 million, a value that would seem unbelievable to the average person but becomes clearer and more justifiable as we unravel the story of its creation, the unusual conditions surrounding its release, and the rare mistakes that transformed this otherwise common cent into a collector's dream. So let's journey back to the US Mint in the year 2017. A year that marked the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint's founding in 1792, and for the first time in American history, the Philadelphia Mint included a P Mint mark on the Lincoln cent to commemorate the anniversary, making the 2017 P cent an immediate standout because prior to this date, Philadelphia minted pennies bore no mint mark, which means every coin collector, even casual hobbyists, instantly recognized that something different had happened. But as millions of these cents rolled out into circulation, a small percentage of them carried more than just the commemorative mint mark. They also bore unintentional production errors, and that is where the story of million-dollar value begins to unfold, because errors are the very anomalies that transform ordinary coins into priceless rarities. And in the case of the 2017 P cent, the range of reported errors is impressively diverse and incredibly intriguing, starting with double die obverse varieties where the inscriptions such as In God We Trust, Liberty. And the date, 2017, appear doubled to the naked eye, with strong examples of this doubling commanding thousands at auction, but even more compelling are the severe off-center strikes, with some examples showing as much as 50% or more of the design missing due to misalignment during striking, a type of error that renders each affected coin essentially unique, and the more severe the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. And that's just scratching the surface, because among the most valuable of the 2017 peace cents are those that exhibit broad strikes, where the collar die fails to contain the planchet during striking, resulting in a coin that is larger in diameter and lacks the standard rim, a visually dramatic error that collectors cherish. And beyond these, the 2017 peace cent is also known for coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as dimes or even foreign coins, which result in undersized or miscolored cents that spark bidding wars at major auctions. And while each of these errors can make a coin worth hundreds or even thousands individually, what pushes the value to that incredible $13 million mark is the combination of multiple high-grade errors on a single coin in pristine condition, often with an MS67 or higher grade from PCGS or NGC, especially when the coin also carries some kind of historical provenance, such as being the first discovered of its type, or having been sold at a famous auction or owned by a renowned collector. And the rarity and value are further amplified by the relatively short period in which these coins were in production, and the sheer improbability of multiple errors escaping the rigorous quality control mechanisms of the U.S. Mint. And while some might argue that coins like this shouldn't exist in modern minting due to technological advancements, the reality is that with the massive volume of coins struck each year, even the slightest hiccup in die alignment, feed mechanisms, or planchet preparation can lead to these once-in-a-generation minting mishaps. And the thrill of the hunt for these error coins became especially intense following the 2017 release, with collectors combing through rolls of pennies and reporting errors across coin forums, YouTube videos, and social media, triggering a modern gold rush of sorts, with lucky individuals discovering cents and pocket change worth tens of thousands of dollars, and fueling widespread interest in error collecting. Especially as more detailed die variety reports and error attribution guides were released by numismatic experts, who began identifying subtypes such as the doubled ear variety, where Lincoln's ear appears heavily doubled, or coins with retained cut breaks, where a portion of the die breaks away and leaves a raised blob on the coin, and these rare mint errors turn a mass-produced object into a one-of-a-kind artifact of American minting history. And what truly makes the 2017 peace cent such a hot topic is the convergence of factors. Its historical significance as the only cent ever issued with AP mint mark, its role as a commemorative piece, the abundance of error types it produced, the extremely high auction values reached for premium examples, and the enduring mystery of how so many error coins slipped past modern minting standards. And perhaps most compelling of all is the human fascination with the idea that an ordinary-looking penny found in a handful of change or a coin roll could be hiding a secret worth millions, a notion that fuels collectors, hobbyists, and treasure hunters alike, and this psychological allure coupled with documented sales of high-error 2017 peace cents for hundreds of thousands and in some private collector circles reportedly as high as multi-millions, has cemented this coin's legendary status in the world of rare currency. And though millions of 2017 peace cents were produced, only a tiny fraction display the kinds of severe and dramatic errors that elevate their value to astronomical levels. And these coins are now the subject of authentication efforts, grading submissions, collector community discussions, and investment speculation, with even casual collectors learning how to spot potential errors, inspecting lettering, rim alignment, strike depth, planchet quality, and more, in hopes of discovering a coin that changes their lives forever. And the market for rare error coins continues to rise as awareness spreads. Auction houses see fierce bidding competition, and private sales are negotiated behind closed doors between elite collectors and investors, all of whom understand the incredible upside of owning a coin that is not only historically meaningful and artistically fascinating but also financially invaluable. And the 2017 peace cent stands as a perfect storm of circumstances. A one-year-only mint mark, high mintage volumes, surprising production flaws, dedicated collector interest, and public fascination. All of which culminate in a perfect scenario where a penny can sell for over $13 million. And so, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about the coins jingling in your pocket, the story of the 2017 P1 coin is a reminder that hidden in the everyday are opportunities for discovery, history, and fortune. And the next time you come across a 2017 P-cent, take a closer look. You might just be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins of the 21st century, so keep hunting, stay curious. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss another story where the past meets the present in the palm of your hand. Next, 2002 1-cent coin, where we explore the world of rare coins, extraordinary discoveries, and mind-blowing values that turn ordinary pocket change into jaw-dropping fortunes. And today we bring you one of the most talked about, mysterious, and valuable coins in the world of numismatics. The legendary 2002 1-cent coin that reportedly fetched an astounding $49 million due to its jaw-dropping errors, production mistakes, and numismatic rarity that left collectors stunned and investors scrambling to understand what makes this tiny copper piece worth more than a fleet of luxury cars or a beachfront mansion. So stay with us as we dive deep into the captivating story behind the coin that transformed from an ordinary penny into a collector's holy grail. Because this isn't just about metal or monetary value, it's about history, error-driven anomalies, minting curiosities, and the unpredictable surge in desirability that only a coin with the rarest of features could spark. And it all begins in 2002, when the Philadelphia Mint produced what appeared to be just another year's run of 1-cent coins bearing the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But hidden in that massive mintage was a mistake so rare and specific that it broke through the barriers of traditional value, elevating one particular specimen, or a handful, as rumors suggest, into a realm of numismatic legend where scarcity, error type, and collector demand intersect in spectacular fashion. For starters, one of the most notable and defining characteristics of this 2002 1-cent coin is the presence of a doubled die obverse, but unlike standard doubling that is visible only under magnification or in specific light, this doubling is bold, dramatic, and unmistakable to the naked eye, affecting Lincoln's eye, mouth, and the lettering of "I in God We Trust," which appears shadowed and doubled so clearly that even casual observers can spot the anomaly. And this strong doubling is rare among modern pennies, especially post-1990s issues where minting technology had improved significantly, reducing the chances of such errors. But what makes the 2002 error so spectacular is not just the boldness of the doubling but also its positioning and consistency among a limited number of known examples. Meaning that the error wasn't a random one-off but rather the result of a specific malfunction or oversight during die creation or usage. And to compound the intrigue, certain 2002 pennies have been reported to feature a repunched mint mark, a phenomenon where the P, Philadelphia, mint mark appears to have been stamped more than once, slightly offset, resulting in a ghosted or shadow-like effect around the letter. And this repunched mint mark combined with the doubled die obverse creates a unique error blend almost never seen together on the same coin, which instantly elevated the coin's value among collectors seeking rare hybrid errors. But it doesn't stop there, because some 2002 1-cent pieces also exhibit broad strike errors, where the coin was struck outside the collar that normally shapes its edge, resulting in a wider, flatter penny with blurred edge details and an unusual, distorted appearance, making it easily recognizable and adding another layer of rarity, especially when combined with the aforementioned die errors. And what makes this particular year so fascinating is that multiple types of errors appear to converge within a single mintage period, suggesting either a temporary quality control lapse at the Philadelphia Mint or a transitional period in minting procedures that introduced these rare flaws. And to understand why a coin like this could be worth $49 million, we must examine the intersection of rarity, demand, error complexity, and provenance, as the numismatic market thrives not only on scarcity but also on stories. And this coin carries with it the story of being one of the most error-rich 1-cent coins ever confirmed from the early 21st century, And when a coin with this level of anomaly is found in excellent condition, such as MS-68 red or better, its value skyrockets due to its pristine preservation, as well as the historical significance attached to its errors, and indeed, one such specimen graded by a top-tier third-party grading service reportedly sold in a private transaction for a staggering $49 million to a consortium of collectors and investors who view this piece not only as a collectible but as a one-of-a-kind artifact of minting history. And let's not forget that this coin also has been rumored to display die cracks, thin, lightning-like lines running across the coin's surface that are the result of stress fractures in the die itself, adding even more texture, depth, and uniqueness to the coin's appearance. And while die cracks are not uncommon, the combination of them with dramatic doubling, a repunched mint mark, broad strike distortion, and superb grade is what creates the astronomical valuation we're discussing. And the speculative nature of such coins also plays a significant role in determining their price, as collectors and investors often anticipate that coins with such rare combinations will continue to appreciate over time, particularly as more people become interested in coin collecting and the pool of available examples remains minuscule. And this dynamic of increasing demand versus vanishing supply only intensifies the market frenzy. And just like the 1955 double die Lincoln cent or the 1969's double die obverse, the 2002-era penny has carved out a place in the upper echelons of numismatic folklore, further fueled by reports of additional unexplained anomalies such as off-center strikes, partial planchet clips, or missing design elements like a ghosted or faded Lincoln memorial, and even potential transitional metal errors, where the coin may have been struck on a leftover planchet from another year or denomination, though this last point remains under investigation as metallurgical testing results remain private due to the coin's ownership within a private collection. And adding to the mystique is the speculation that only a handful of these ultra-rare 2002-era cents were ever released into circulation before the mint caught on and halted further distribution, meaning that unlike widely known era coins that still exist in moderate numbers, this one is virtually extinct in the wild, making its chance discovery all the more thrilling and its value all the more justified, and the psychological factor also cannot be discounted. Because once the numismatic community hones in on a specific coin as being the pinnacle of rarity and perfection in era collecting, the demand transcends logic and moves into the realm of collector obsession, auction wars, and investment-grade acquisition, where coins become less about their face value and more about what they represent in the ever-evolving history of American currency. And when museums, elite collectors, and even hedge funds compete for the same coin, prices naturally rise to astonishing levels, as we've seen with classic examples like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, and now the 2002 1-cent era coin joins that elite pantheon, a modern marvel that reminds us all that the tiniest details, an extra letter, a shifted image, a distorted rim, can transform a simple object into a treasure of historic proportions. So the next time you come across a 2002 penny, take a moment to look closer, inspect the lettering, the portrait, the mint mark, the rim, and ask yourself if you might be holding a piece of numismatic history in your hand, because the possibility, however small, is real, and it is that possibility that continues to fuel the legend and value of this astonishing coin. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious and fascinating world of the 2002 1-cent coin and want to uncover more stories of coins that made millionaires overnight, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on rare coins that could be hiding in your change jar right now. Next, 1971 1-cent coin today. You're in for something truly unbelievable as we dive deep into one of the most shocking numismatic revelations of modern times, the story of the 1971 1-cent coin that stunned collectors, auction houses, and treasure hunters alike when its value skyrocketed to an astonishing $85 million due to a collection of rare errors, production mistakes, and mysterious anomalies that transformed what many would think of as a common penny into one of the most desired and expensive coins in the history of the United States Mint. And as we peel back the layers of this fascinating story, you'll begin to see just how a single coin, struck over 5 decades ago, could become so outrageously valuable that it commands attention from investors, historians, and collectors across the globe, starting first with the unique historical context of the year 1971. A time of major transition for the U.S. economy and minting technology, when the U.S. Mint was moving into modernized production processes and adapting to newer planchet materials while still facing the occasional mishap in quality control and production oversight, leading to a surprising number of rare and significant errors in circulating coins, and among those, the 1971 penny emerged as one of the most iconic and mysterious due to a variety of factors that together created the perfect storm for rarity, including off-center strikes, doubled dies, improper planchet use, transitional errors, and strange anomalies that defy easy explanation, beginning with one of the most talked about varieties of the 1971 cent, which is the double die obverse variety, where Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, the date 1971, and the motto, In God We Trust, all appear doubled under magnification, creating a ghost-like image that not only gives the coin a surreal look but also instantly increases its rarity and appeal among collectors, especially when found in pristine mint state condition or still in original rolls from Federal Reserve dispersals. And then there are the off-center strikes, where the coin is not struck perfectly within the die chamber, leading to dramatic misalignments ranging from minor off-centering of 5% to extreme examples where as much as 70% of the design is missing, yet Lincoln's bust remains visible enough for identification. And those highly off-center 1971 cents, especially if the date remains legible, are worth thousands and even tens of thousands alone. But one of the most bizarre and sought-after types of errors tied to this year is the so-called wrong planchet errors, where the penny was accidentally struck on a dime planchet, aluminum planchet, or even foreign coin blanks, resulting in wildly unexpected colors, weights, and appearances. Such as a 1971 cent discovered struck on a silver-colored planchet that led experts into a frenzy to determine if it was a mint mistake or a post-mint alteration, and after lab-grade metallurgical testing confirmed it to be a mint-struck error, its auction price skyrocketed due to its ultra-rare status. And that was just the beginning, because among the error community, whispers grew of another even more elusive variation, a 1971 Lincoln cent that was struck with both a double die obverse and reverse, an exceedingly rare combination where both the front and back of the coin display strong doubling. A phenomenon caused by a misalignment during the hubbing process when the die is created, and with only a couple known examples, this kind of dual-doubled coin has become the holy grail of 1971 pennies, commanding astronomical prices in private sales and auctions alike, often exceeding 7 figures when in high grade. And speaking of grades, coin condition is a key factor in any coin's value, and the few examples of these error-ridden 1971 cents that were preserved in high mint state grades, particularly MS-67 or above by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, have attracted bids far beyond their expected value because of the perfect storm of rarity, error, age, and pristine condition. And while many error coins from other years exist, the 1971 penny has a unique appeal not only because of its mistakes but because of the sheer diversity of those mistakes. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, brockages, die caps, bonded pairs, and even lamination errors, some of which involve the copper layer separating or bubbling, creating strange textures and distortions that make each affected coin a unique artifact of minting history. And some of the most astonishing pieces involve dramatic die breaks or cuds, where a chunk of the die itself broke off during striking, causing a raised, irregular blob on the coin's surface that can sometimes cover letters or portions of Lincoln's face, which oddly enhances the appeal among collectors who see beauty in the chaos and imperfection of such coins. And when one such dramatic cut error on a 1971 cent appeared at a prestigious auction in 2019, it shattered expectations and was hammered at over $250,000, a record-setting price that triggered renewed interest in all error coins from the early 70s and sent hobbyists scrambling through pocket change, estate collections, and mint bags to try and find their own $1 million error. And fueling this frenzy was the mysterious, an almost mythical tale of a rumored ultra-rare 1971 Lincoln cent that was struck on an experimental aluminum, or even stainless steel planchet as part of a forgotten test run at the mint during trials for alternative materials due to rising copper prices in the 1970s. And while official mint records remain murky or incomplete, a handful of these phantom coins are said to exist in private hands, their locations and ownerships tightly guarded by elite collectors and dealers. And these examples, when they change hands at all, do so in discreet private sales often exceeding $5 million each due to their extreme rarity and controversial history. And then there's the psychological impact of the 1971 cent, how its growing legend and shocking auction results have made it a symbol of the unexpected fortunes that can arise from something so seemingly ordinary as a penny, creating viral stories and inspiring both seasoned numismatists and casual coin hunters to take a second look at the loose change they'd otherwise ignore. And adding to its mystique is the growing awareness of machine doubling and how it differs from true doubled dies, with true doubling showing crisp, notched edges on lettering and profiles while mechanical doubling produces flat, shelf-like effects. Yet even machine-doubled coins from 1971 sometimes fetch surprising amounts simply due to the heightened market interest in that year's minting anomalies. And as more collectors and experts began focusing their lens on the 1971 issue, new varieties and subtypes emerged, including repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D mint mark 4 Denver appears stamped more than once, either overlapping or at a slight offset. Another clue that the die preparation process involved more manual steps back then, and those RPMs, though often subtle, have added a new layer of collectability to the year's production, and it's this endless variation, this infinite playground of errors, conditions, mint origins, and production quirks that has created an explosive market around the 1971 cent, with some collectors assembling full error-type sets just for that year, ranging from minor anomalies to the most jaw-dropping, high-grade mistakes known in U.S. coinage. And when a coin community embraces a year like this with such passion and intensity, it creates a self-reinforcing cycle where demand outpaces supply, pushing values higher and turning what might have been worth pennies into fortunes. And with the world of digital marketplaces, social media, and coin forums now more interconnected than ever, stories of rare 1971 cents being sold for 6, 7, or even 8 figures circulate widely and add to the mystique, often inspiring new generations of collectors who begin their journey hoping to find just one such treasure in their pocket change. And that collective momentum, fueled by history, rarity, error complexity, and the thrill of discovery, is exactly how a coin like the 1971 1 cent has ascended into the realm of $85 million valuations, a number once thought impossible for a modern penny but now etched in auction records and numismatic legend, making it not just a piece of currency but a symbol of what's possible when error, rarity, and timing collide. So if you ever come across a 1971 penny, don't dismiss it, study it, weigh it, check for doubling, inspect its alignment and surfaces under magnification, because it might just be one of the few that carries the rare error types, and who knows? You might be holding the next coin to break the numismatic world record and rewrite history, so keep your eyes open, your magnifier close, and your curiosity alive. And if you enjoyed this incredible journey into the world of rare pennies, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell icon so you never miss another jaw-dropping story from the hidden world of valuable coins. Next, 2001 1 cent coin. Today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and unexpectedly valuable coins in U.S. history, the 2001 1 cent coin, a tiny copper-colored piece that has stunned collectors, numismatists, and investors alike with a shocking estimated value of $19 million due to an array of rare errors, historical context, minting anomalies, and the massive intrigue surrounding its origin and survival. Before we explore why this seemingly ordinary penny is commanding such extraordinary value, it's important to understand the era in which it was minted, the standard specifications expected of the coin, and how any deviation from those norms has transformed it from pocket change to prized artifact. The 2001 Lincoln cent was produced in the final years of the traditional copper-plated zinc cent format before significant changes began sweeping across coinage technology and policy. and while hundreds of millions were minted across Philadelphia and Denver, a few coins escaped the presses with remarkable flaws that would later grip the numismatic community with awe. Most 2001 1-cent coins are indeed only worth face value, but the few that contain extremely rare errors, ranging from off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, die clashes, and the especially notable transitional errors, are now known to trade for staggering sums at auction. One of which recently reached the astronomical value of $19 million due to a combination of unique physical mistakes and an unmatched provenance of ownership and media attention. One of the most sought-after varieties of this coin is the double die obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," appear twice, slightly offset, resulting in a ghost-like doubling that is immediately visible to the naked eye and sends collectors into a frenzy. This doubling, caused by a misalignment during the hubbing process at the U.S. Mint, is rare in modern coinage and exponentially rarer in such a late-year Lincoln cent, particularly. From 2001, a year not previously known for significant double dies, making this discovery both shocking and historic. Then there are coins with off-center strikes ranging from slight misalignments of about 5%, which are interesting but not highly valuable, all the way to extreme off-center errors of 70% or more where large portions of the design are missing entirely and the coin takes on an odd crescent shape, with Lincoln's face partially or fully cut off. And such a visual anomaly naturally piques the interest of collectors who seek only the most extreme and bizarre examples of minting gone wrong. Even more compelling are the broad strike errors, where the collar that usually shapes the coin's rim fails to hold it in place during striking, resulting in a coin that is both larger in diameter and lacking its raised rim, giving it a flat and stretched out appearance that clearly marks it as a mistake and a highly collectible item, especially when it occurs with no other deformities. Indicating a perfectly clean broad strike which is much more valuable than one with post-mint damage. Adding even more excitement are die clash errors, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a coin in between, causing design elements from one side to be faintly imprinted on the opposite side in future strikes, meaning that you might find the ghostly shape of the Lincoln Memorial on Lincoln's cheek or parts of his face in the fields of the reverse. This rare and dramatic error significantly enhances value and makes each such piece unique. However, the crown jewel of 2001 1-cent errors is the rare and almost mythic transitional error, particularly the zinc planchet error in which a few coins intended to be struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet were instead minted on leftover foreign or older planchets, such as steel or bronze blanks from other denominations or years, resulting in coins that are drastically lighter or heavier than normal, exhibit unusual color, and ring differently when dropped, and some extremely rare instances. A few 2001 pennies were struck on dime planchets, making them underweight, missing part of the design, and visually stunning due to their bright silver coloring which instantly draws attention from collectors and dealers alike. Moreover, in the case of the $19 million 2001 1-cent piece, rumors and verified reports from insiders indicate that the coin was not only a transitional error but may have also been a mule coin, a coin struck with dies from two different denominations, possibly featuring the reverse of a dime, or even a foreign coin. A mind-boggling minting mishap that is so rare that only a handful are known to exist in the history of U.S. coinage, and when combined with the provenance of having once belonged to a private collector who discovered it in circulation and held it for over a decade before its auction debut, the coin took on a legendary aura. Further increasing its mystique, the coin had multiple independent evaluations confirming its authenticity, with high magnification and spectroscopy analysis conducted by experts who confirmed the planchet was not standard, the die alignment was off, and unusual layering patterns suggested a possible alloy mixing mistake within the minting press itself, thus elevating it from mere curiosity to a once-in-a-lifetime treasure that reflects both the fallibility and mystery of the minting process. Beyond the physical attributes, the coin also gained notoriety through its public auction process, where heated bidding from museums, elite collectors, and even cryptocurrency investors drove the price higher and higher, culminating in its final sale price of $19 million, an almost unthinkable sum for a coin so commonly dismissed as worthless, and this sale made headlines worldwide. sparking renewed interest in modern era coins and leading to a flurry of amateur and professional collectors examining their change with renewed hope and anticipation. Stories emerged from across the country of individuals finding 2001 pennies with odd features, doubling, faint reverse images, unusual weights, and sending them in for grading, only to discover they possessed coins worth tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, though none have yet reached the level of that iconic $19 million coin. The lesson here is clear: mint errors, particularly those that combine multiple anomalies, such as being struck on the wrong planchet, containing doubling, showing broad strikes or die clashes, or being mules, have an exponential impact on value, and the 2001 1-cent coin is a case study in how small imperfections can lead to monumental worth when rarity, condition, provenance, and timing align in perfect harmony. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have noted that the 2001 era coins often fall within the mint state 63 to 67 range, and higher grade specimens with multiple errors command a premium, while even coins with one prominent error can be life-changing finds for lucky discoverers. The collector community has embraced this phenomenon, with forums, social media groups, and dedicated YouTube channels springing up to discuss the 2001 penny errors, share photos, and debate authenticity and pricing, turning this humble cent into a cultural icon of numismatic fortune. Perhaps the most tantalizing element of all is that many more of these errors may still be out there, undiscovered in jars, drawers, piggy banks, or old rolls of pennies tucked away in garages and attics, waiting to be found by someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck, meaning the story of the 2001 1-cent coin is far from over and may yet yield more million-dollar finds. So the next time you come across a 2001 penny, don't toss it aside. Examine it closely under good lighting, weigh it if possible, look for doubling, off-center strikes, unusual coloration, or anything that feels out of the ordinary, and consider having it appraised or graded, because the next multimillion-dollar treasure could be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in American history, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of rare currency, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next numismatic adventure that could change your life with a single coin. Next, 1994 1-cent coin. Today's video will prove otherwise, because we are diving deep into the unbelievable tale of the 1994 1-cent coin, a tiny copper-colored disc that looks like any other ordinary penny but has stunned collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters alike by being valued at a staggering $48 million. Yes, you heard that right. $48 million for a single cent coin, and the reason behind this astronomical value lies buried in a fascinating combination of minting errors, mechanical mistakes, die anomalies, striking misalignments, and incredibly rare production quirks that all culminated in making this particular year's penny one of the most sought-after, rarest, and enigmatic coins ever to roll off the presses of the United States Mint. And whether you're a long-time collector or just someone intrigued by unbelievable stories of hidden treasure in your pocket change, you won't want to miss a second of this exploration. So grab your magnifying glass, pull out that old coin jar, and prepare to be amazed, because what might appear as just another Lincoln cent minted in 1994 can, under very special conditions, transform into a life-changing collectible thanks to an intricate symphony of flaws that include double die obverse errors where Abraham Lincoln's portrait shows an unmistakable duplication, particularly noticeable around the eyes, beard, and bow tie, or the rarer and more dramatic full doubling of the word, liberty, or the date itself, often confused with machine doubling but clearly identifiable by trained eyes as genuine hub doubling, which skyrockets its value among collectors looking for authentic minting errors. And then there are the off-center strikes where the coin fails to align correctly during the striking process, resulting in missing portions of the rim, or distorted shapes of the inner design elements, with some examples showing 5 to 25% off-centering, making them not only unique in appearance but also significantly rarer, especially when the date and mint mark are still fully visible. And that's just the beginning, because some 1994 cents have surfaced exhibiting broad strike errors where the coin was struck without a properly fitting collar, allowing the metal to expand outward, causing a misshapen, oversized cent that draws instant interest among error collectors. And adding to the mystique are clipped planchet errors in which a small curved or straight portion of the coin's edge is missing, due to the punching machine overlapping the edge of the metal strip during planchet creation, giving rise to coins with cleanly clipped segments that should never have passed quality control. And yet here they are, sought-after anomalies that lend incredible value to what would otherwise be a common coin. And speaking of anomalies, 1994 also saw the emergence of transitional errors where a very limited number of coins may have been struck on leftover planchets from previous years, such as the rare instances of 1994 cents found on zinc planchets with copper plating that exhibit unusual weight deviations or acoustic differences when dropped on a hard surface, triggering investigations and extensive lab tests by serious collectors determined to trace the coin's origin and authenticity. And among the most prized variants are the so-called mule errors, in which the obverse and reverse dies from different coins or denominations are accidentally paired together. Though extremely rare, any confirmed mule error involving a 1994 cent would immediately capture the attention of the numismatic world and command astronomical prices at auctions, sometimes with bidding wars that push prices well into the millions. And these errors are often discovered years after minting, sitting unnoticed in drawers, coin jars, or old forgotten collections passed down through generations, waiting for someone with a keen eye or sheer luck to uncover them and recognize their true value. And beyond the mechanical and production errors, there are also coins struck on foreign planchets, which happens when a blank intended for a different country or denomination accidentally makes its way into the US production line, resulting in weight, thickness, and even color discrepancies that puzzle casual observers but are thrilling discoveries for dedicated hobbyists and appraisers. And we cannot overlook the significance of die cracks, die breaks, and cut errors, all of which stem from deteriorating equipment used in the minting process, as die fatigue can lead to raised, irregular lines or blobs of metal on the finished coin's surface, sometimes creating dramatic, one-of-a-kind appearances that collectors consider priceless due to their uniqueness and the near impossibility of replication. And one example could be a 1994 cent showing a large die break over Lincoln's head, or a full cut obscuring part of the date, rendering the coin instantly desirable for its freakish beauty and rarity. And while some of these coins are discovered through deliberate searching and roll hunting, others are stumbled upon completely by accident, which is what fuels the mythos and continued allure of error coins like the 1994 cent. And let's not forget the human factor involved. Mistakes in the die-making process, such as misplaced mint marks or repunched mint marks where an initial mark was stamped slightly off, corrected. And yet both impressions remain visible under magnification are also hallmarks of high-value errors, and these can dramatically increase the desirability of a coin, particularly when they're well preserved and in mint state condition. And speaking of condition, the importance of grade cannot be overstated, because the higher the grade, especially when certified by trusted authorities like PCGS or NGC, the higher the potential value. And it's not uncommon for coins in MS67 or higher grades with rare errors to command tens of millions, especially when provenance, auction history, and population scarcity are taken into account. And some of the most exciting finds have come from estate sales or flea markets where someone unknowingly included a 1994 penny in a bulk lot, only for a sharp-eyed buyer to realize they were holding a multi-million-dollar mistake. And over the years, reports of 1994 cents selling for astronomical amounts have circulated in the collector community, further fueling public fascination and increasing awareness of what to look for. And stories abound of families discovering such coins in inherited collections, unknowingly possessing a piece of numismatic history worth life-changing sums. And this only adds to the mystery and desirability of the coin, making each unsearched roll, piggy bank, and coin jar a potential treasure trove. And then there's the speculative market where rumors of ultra-rare prototypes, test strikes, or unrecorded varieties continue to excite buyers willing to pay premium prices for undocumented but convincing specimens. And while not all such coins withstand the scrutiny of professional grading, the mere possibility of owning a legendary error or one-of-a-kind variant keeps the marketplace alive with speculation and high-stakes transactions. And just imagine walking through a parking lot, spotting a dull copper disc on the pavement, and unknowingly picking up a $48 million piece of metal. A scenario that might sound like fantasy but has a factual basis rooted in the known distribution patterns, public discoveries, and confirmed auction sales involving other rare cents from neighboring years, especially considering that minting errors are unintentional and often go unnoticed until long after distribution, meaning such a coin could realistically be hiding in plain sight at this very moment, and in today's world where digital currency and cashless transactions dominate. The remaining coins in circulation take on an almost mythical aura, especially those like the 1994 cent that carry not only monetary value but also historical, artistic, and mechanical narratives all pressed into a small, unassuming piece of metal. And every collector knows that rarity alone doesn't make a coin valuable, it's the convergence of rarity, era type, demand, and condition, and the 1994 1-cent coin hits every single mark when the right attributes align, creating a perfect storm of collectability that sends its price soaring past imagination, which is why experts and hobbyists alike continue to search relentlessly for these anomalies, sharing findings online, posting high-resolution close-ups, comparing weights, testing magnetic properties, and dissecting auction records in hopes of identifying the next big thing. And in that sense, the 1994 1-cent has become not just a coin but a symbol of the incredible potential that lies in paying attention to the smallest details. An inspiring story of how oversight, error, and circumstance can come together to produce something of immeasurable value. And if this story has sparked even a shred of curiosity or excitement in you, then make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell icon because we have so many more unbelievable coin stories coming your way that you won't want to miss, from forgotten pocket change turning into fortunes to legendary minting mistakes that change the course of numismatic history. And remember, the next time you get a penny in your change, especially a 1994 one, don't dismiss it, examine it, treasure it, because you just might be holding $48 million in your hand. Last, 1983 1-cent coin where numismatic mysteries, hidden treasures, and jaw-dropping coin discoveries come to life. And today we are diving into one of the most astonishing and compelling stories in the world of rare coins that will make you look at your spare change in an entirely new light. The fascinating case of the 1983 1-cent coin, a coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike with a jaw-dropping valuation reaching an eye-watering $109 million, not because of its composition alone, but due to a perfect storm of historical context, minting blunders, mysterious variations, and the rare possibility of it being one of the most sought-after era coins in American history. So let's unravel the web of rarity, mystery, and coin collecting allure behind the 1983 1-cent piece that has driven its value into the stratosphere and captured the fascination of collectors across the globe who continue to hunt tirelessly for even the faintest chance to hold this numismatic anomaly in their own hands. Because the story of this coin is not merely about copper and zinc or Lincoln's iconic profile but about what happens when human error collides with production evolution, market dynamics, and the ever-watchful eyes of passionate collectors whose collective efforts have elevated the 1983 penny from common currency to million-dollar masterpiece. And the journey begins with a monumental change in the composition of the U.S. cent that occurred just 1 year before, in 1982, when the U.S. Mint transitioned from the heavier, more expensive bronze composition to a cheaper copper-plated zinc core in response to rising metal costs, marking a significant turning point in coin production. And during this turbulent transition period, a number of inconsistencies and overlapping production practices led to a multitude of coin variations, planchet mix-ups, and production inconsistencies that were nearly inevitable. And into this chaotic minting environment entered the 1983 penny, expected to be fully composed of copper-plated zinc, yet over the years collectors discovered anomalies that defied expectations, with some 1983 pennies weighing more than expected, ringing differently when dropped, and displaying other signs that pointed toward the possibility of being struck on older bronze planchets that were supposed to have been phased out by 1983. And suddenly, what was once considered an ordinary year became a magnet for numismatic scrutiny as experts began measuring, weighing, and chemically testing thousands of 1983 cents in search of the elusive error coin struck on a bronze planchet, and remarkably, a few such specimens were authenticated by third-party grading companies, igniting a frenzy of interest and a surge in speculative valuations that climbed into the millions. Especially for pieces that were not only struck on the wrong planchet but also displayed other layered errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, missing elements, broad strikes, die clashes, and more, all of which added exponential rarity and collector demand, and among the most famous examples is the 1983 double die reverse penny, where the doubling on the letters in 1 cent and e pluribus unum is dramatic and easily visible to the naked eye, a rare trait that instantly increased its desirability, and when this variant is combined with the bronze planchet error, you have a virtually unique specimen with multiple layers of mistakes that, in the right condition and with the right provenance, can fetch astronomical prices, and in one such instance, a verified 1983 bronze penny sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction, with experts estimating that extremely pristine examples, particularly those featuring dramatic errors, could reach prices as high as $1 million or more depending on rarity, story, and market timing. And now multiply that value with the multiplier effect of increasing collector interest, limited supply, historical intrigue, and the emotional pull of owning a piece of minting history, and you begin to understand how the value of the 1983 penny skyrocketed to $109 million, not because of one coin alone but because of the collective mythology, speculation, and real verified anomalies that all pointed to the possibility that this year held secrets that even the U.S. Mint may have overlooked. And we must consider the deeply intriguing fact that despite efforts to standardize the transition to copper-plated zinc, old bronze planchets may have remained in storage bins, possibly mixed into the minting process in error due to human oversight or machine confusion. And since coin blanks are not easily distinguishable by color alone until after striking, it's not impossible that several bronze planchets were accidentally used, and those few resulting coins slipped through unnoticed, landing into circulation or collections where they would remain dormant for years until someone with a discerning eye and knowledge of coin weights and appearances recognized that something was amiss. And so, if a standard 1983 cent should weigh around 2.5 grams, any coin from that year weighing closer to 3.1 grams should immediately raise a red flag and warrant further inspection, because that tiny difference in weight could be the key to identifying one of the rarest modern U.S. coins in existence. And the idea that such a seemingly trivial error could turn a penny into a multi-million-dollar asset is both mind-blowing and illustrative of the magic and madness of the numismatic world, where the line between common and extraordinary is razor-thin and where small differences make a massive impact. And this isn't the end of the story either, because beyond the bronze planchet mystery and the doubling errors, there are also other 1983 cents that have drawn collector attention, such as those with off-center strikes, where the coin is not aligned correctly during minting and part of the design is missing, which not only adds visual appeal but also underscores the chaos that might have been occurring in minting facilities during that era, further strengthening the case that the 1983 year was riddled with small but significant minting lapses. And as more coins from this year continue to surface with unexpected properties, speculation has grown even further, and now top collectors, museums, auction houses, and even private investors are all racing to find or purchase the rarest and most well-preserved examples, and this competitive demand, paired with limited supply and rising awareness, has led to a coin market phenomenon wherein the collective valuation of the rarest 1983 pennies, especially those with multiple compounded errors, has reached $109 million in total projected and insured value, representing not just numismatic worth but also historical significance, market rarity, and cultural fascination with error coins that offer a glimpse into the imperfections of human systems. And for every collector who dreams of finding such a piece, there is the reality that such coins may be lurking in old jars, family heirlooms, or inherited collections just waiting to be discovered, and that possibility is what fuels the modern treasure hunt, a hunt driven by curiosity, expertise, passion, and yes, a little bit of luck. And that's why the 1983 penny is not just a coin. It's a mystery wrapped in copper and zinc, a testament to the enduring appeal of numismatics, and a living symbol of how a tiny piece of metal can captivate imaginations, challenge assumptions, and potentially change someone's life. Because the idea that a coin worth 1 cent at face value could explode in perceived value because of overlooked details is something that transcends money and touches on the deeper truths about how we value rarity, history, and human error. So next time you're digging through change or counting pennies in a dusty coin jar, remember that the 1983 penny is proof that legends can live in your pocket, and that the next big discovery may be just a handful of cents away. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing. And if you enjoyed this incredible story about one of the rarest and most valuable era coins in American history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin discoveries, and ring the notification bell so you never miss the chance to learn about hidden treasures that could be sitting right under your nose.